Good afternoon again, radio fans. Big Al here on this Tuesday, June 4th, 2024. And welcome to part two of the June 2024 reissue of the Houston-Galveston radio market. And now we'll be taking a look at the stations on the FM side of the dial. 40 in total, and again, 24 of those in high definition. Now, the AM reissue is currently up. If you want to check that out, feel free to. But for now, we're going to dive into the FM side of the Houston-Galveston radio market. And we're going to start off with 88.1 Channel 201. KFTG, Pasadena, Texas, also branded as Radio Aleluya, featuring a Spanish Christian format. This station signed on the air on October 27, 1982 as KJIC and became KFTG in 1994. They have a Class A license with the FCC, broadcasting at 700 watts. Studios are located at either 1600 Pasadena Boulevard in Pasadena, Texas, or at 5237 US 80 in Victoria, Texas. The station's transmitter is on Curtis Avenue in Pasadena. KFTG is owned by Alleluia Christian Broadcasting Incorporated. And programming is relayed on translator stations K201EU 88.1 FM, Katy, Texas, which is in the western Houston suburbs, K201DZ 88.1 FM, Port Bolivar, Texas, and K254DU 98.3 FM in Angleton, Texas. Short space next to KFTG on 88.3 Channel 202 is KAFR Conroe, Texas. They're known as AFR Talk, which features conservative Christian talk programming. This station signed on the air on September 26, 1997, presumably as KAXF, and the station officially became KAFR in 2005. They have a Class C1 license with the FCC, broadcasting at 100,000 watts. Studio location is unlisted. Their mailing address is P.O. Box 2888, Conroe, Texas 77301. Their transmitter is off of Pollard Road in Willis, Texas. KAFR is owned by the American Family Association. 88.7 Channel 204, the first of 24 Houston stations broadcasting in high definition, is KUHF Houston. They're known as News 88.7. On 88.7 FM analog and 88.7 HD1 is News Talk. 88.7 HD2 is classical music, known as Classical 24. 88.7 HD3 is Exponential Radio, which is based from WXPN in Philadelphia, featuring an adult album alternative format. And on 88.7 HD4 is the Sight into Sound audio reading service. KUHF signed on the air on November 6, 1950 at 91.3 and moved to 88.7 in 1990. They have a Class C license with the FCC, broadcasting at 100,000 watts. Studios are located at 4343 Elgin Street in Houston. Their transmitter is at 4122 McCard Road in Missouri City. KUHF is owned by the University of Houston and the University of Houston system. The University of Houston also owns PBS member station KUHT Channel 8. Next up on 89.3 Channel 207, broadcasted in high definition, is one of the nation's highest rated Christian stations, and that's KSBJ, Humble, Texas. They're known as 89.3 KSBJ, God Listens. On 89.3 FM analog and 89.3 HD1 is Christian adult contemporary music with no additional subchannels. KSBJ signed on the air at 88.1 on July 8, 1982, and moved to 89.3 in 1987. They have a Class C1 license with the FCC, broadcasting at 87,000 watts. Studios are located at 1722 Treble Drive, Humble, and their transmitter is at 7516 Fairbanks North Houston Road in Houston. KSBJ is the flagship station of the Hope Media Group, and programming is simulcast across the area on KUBJ 89.7 FM, Brenham, Texas, KEHH 92.3 FM, Livingston, KWUP 92.5 FM, Navasota, Texas, up in the College Station area, KXBJ 96.9 FM, El Campo, and KHIH 99.9 in Liberty, Texas, serving Beaumont and Port Arthur, and we'll talk about that station in full a little later. Translator station K256DJ 99.1 FM, Victoria, relays the programming heard on KXBJ. 89.7 Channel 209 is KACC, Alvin, Texas, known as the Gulf Coast Rocker. This is a public radio station playing album-oriented rock, signing on the air on 91.3 in 1978 and moving to 89.7 in 1992. They have a Class A license with the FCC, broadcasting at 5,600 watts. Studios are on the campus of Alvin Community College at 3110 Mustang Road, Building B, Room 217 in Alvin. Their transmitter is off of County Road 155, also in Alvin. KACC, the Gulf Coast Rocker, is owned by Alvin Community College. Short space next to them on 89.9 Channel 210 is KQVI Cedar Lake. Radio Vida Vision, featuring a Spanish Christian format, license granted to the station on January 25th, 2011. They have a Class C3 license with the FCC, broadcasting at 10,000 watts. Studios are located at 8230 Anton Drive in Houston. The transmitter is at 27018/27036 Sergeant Joe Parks Jr. Memorial Highway in Bay City. KQVI is owned by Centro Cristiano de Vida Eterna. Moving on to 90.1 Channel 211, broadcasting in high definition, you've got KPFT Houston, known as KPFT 90.1. On 90.1 FM analog and 90.1 HD1 is community and public radio, primarily in English with select programming broadcast in Spanish. 90.1 HD2 is listed only as alternate programming. KPFT is the Houston affiliate of Pacifica Radio. This station signed on the air on March 1st, 1970. They have a Class C1 license with the FCC, broadcasting at the maximum 100,000 watts. Studios are located at 4504 Caroline Street in Houston. The transmitter is at 7622 Fairbanks North Houston Road in Houston. KPFT is owned by the Pacifica Foundation, and programming is played on translator stations K208DG 89.5 FM Galveston, K212FV 90.3 FM Goodrich, and K220KC 91.9 FM Huntsville. 90.5 channel 213, also broadcasting in definition, is KJIC Santa Fe, Texas. They're known as 90.5 KJIC Christian Country Radio. On 90.5 FM analog and 90.5 HD1 is Christian country music with no additional subchannels. The station signed on the air as KFTG on 89.3 in 1981. The station would move to 88.1 in 1987 and to 90.5, where they would become the current KJIC on January 31st, 1994. They have a Class C2 license with the FCC, broadcasting at 36,000 watts. Their studios are located at 8315 County Road 198, building number 2 in Alvin, which is also where their transmitter is. Their mailing address is P.O. Box 1338, Santa Fe, Texas, 77510. KJIC is owned by Community Radio Incorporated. Next up is 90.9 channel 215, broadcasting in high definition, and that's KTSU Houston, also known as The Choice. On 90.9 FM analog and 90.9 HD1 is Jazz and Public Radio. 90.9 HD2 is an urban adult contemporary station known as The Vibe. KTSU signed on the air on June 23rd, 1972. They have a Class C3 license with the FCC, broadcasting at 18,500 watts. Studios are located at 3100 Cleburne Street in Houston. Transmitter is at 3017 Wheeler Avenue, also in Houston. KTSU is owned by Texas Southern University. That's how they got the call letters KTSU. 91.3 channel 217 is KPVU, Prairie View, Texas, known as KPVU 91.3 FM, featuring a public radio format, affiliations with NPR and Compass Media Networks. KPVU signed on the air on February 22nd, 1982. They have a Class C3 license with the FCC, broadcasting at 31,000 watts. Their studios and transmitter are both located on the Prairie View A&M campus. The studios are at the Hilliard Hall Communications Center at 100 University Drive. The transmitter is at 1627 Stadium. That's just outside the football stadium. And both are located in Prairie View, Texas. KPVU is owned by Prairie View A&M University. And then rounding out the traditional non-commercial band is 91.7 channel 219, broadcasting in high definition, and that's KHVU Houston. Vida Unida 91.7 on 91.7 FM analog and 91.7 HD1 is Spanish Christian, adult contemporary music, with no additional subchannels. KHVU signed on the air as KTRU on May 20th, 1971, and was owned by locally based Rice University. The station would become KUHA in 2011 when the University of Houston purchased the station and turned it into a classical station. And then as KXNG in 2016, and later KHVU in 2021. They have a Class C2 license with the FCC, broadcasting at 50,000 watts analog, 4,000 watts digital. Studios are located at 1722 Treble Drive in Humble. Their transmitter is off of Sorters McClellan Road in Porter, Texas. KHVU is owned by Hope Media Group, owners of 89.3 KSBJ. Their programming is simulcast on KVUD 89.5 FM Bay City and KVUJ 91.1 FM Lake Jackson, which is aimed at the Houston area. And their programming is also relayed on translator stations K217GB 91.3 FM Houston, K226 AE 93.1 FM College Station, and K259 AH 99.7 FM Branham, Texas. All right, off we go to the commercial band on FM. Starting with 92.1 channel 221, broadcasting in high definition, KROI Seabrook, Texas. Presently known as Praise 102.1 HD2 or Praise Houston. On 92.1 FM analog and 92.1 HD1 is urban contemporary gospel music with no additional subchannels. This station signed on the air in September 1983 as KZRQ. It would become KYND in 1985, KLEF in 1986, KRTS in 1987, and later KROI in 2004. They have a Class C1 license with the FCC, broadcasting at 40,000 watts. Studios are located at 24 Greenway Plaza, number 900 in Houston. The transmitter is off of East FM 1462 in Arcola, Texas. KROI, previously under the ownership of Urban One, is presently owned by Scott Knobloch and is licensed to Sugarland Station Trust, LLC. And presently, programming is simulcast on KMJQ 102.1 HD2 in Houston. KROI, as I alluded to, was previously owned by Urban One and will be sold to the Spanish Broadcasting System pending FCC approval. I kind of went out of order with my notes, so we'll go right to 92.9 channel 225, broadcasting in high definition, and that's KKBQ Pasadena. 93 Q Country, 50 minutes of Q Country every hour. 0.9 FM analog and 92.9 HD1 is country music. 92.9 HD2 is classic country, known as Country Legends 92.9. Now, this is the station that was previously at 97.1. We'll tell you what 97.1 is shortly. 92.9 HD3 plays Texas country. KKBQ signed on the air in August 1962 as KLVL FM on 25. The station would undergo 4 call sign changes with 3 sets of call letters, becoming KKBQ FM in 1983 and dropping the FM suffix from its call sign in 2016. The station would move to Pasadena's 92.9 in 1982. Class C license with the FCC, broadcasting at the full 100,000 watts. Studios are located at 24 Greenway Plaza, number 9. Their transmitter is off of Texas Parkway or FM 2234 near the Fort Bend Parkway Toll Road on the southwest side of Houston. 93 Q Country is owned by Urban One and licensed by Radio One Licenses LLC. Now, this was formerly part of the Cox Media Group cluster in Houston, but they sold off all their Houston stations. All right. Now to 93.7 channel 229, broadcasting in high definition, KQBT Houston. 93.7 The Beat. Houston's real hip hop and R&B. On 93.7 FM analog and 93.7 HD1 is urban contemporary. 93.7 HD2 is Pride Radio, which is dance and top 40 music aimed at the LGBTQIA plus community. The station has affiliations with Premier Networks. KQBT signed on the air on December 13th, 1963 as KBNO. In fact, they were founded as KBNO on 63 sorry, and signed on officially on April 7th, 1964 with that same call sign. They would undergo 4 call sign changes with 3 sets of call letters, the most recent being KKRW with a classic rock format until 2014. That was when they became KQBT and launched their current hip-hop format. They have a Class C license with DC, broadcasting at the full 100,000 watts. Studios are located at 1233 West Loop South, number 725 in Houston. The transmitter is also in Houston at 5036 McCard Road. KQBT, or 93.7 The Beat, is owned by iHeartMedia and licensed to IHM Licenses, LLC. That makes it a sister station to our next station, which is 94.5 Channel 233, also broadcasting in high definition, KTBZ FM Houston. 94.5 The Buzz, Houston's rock and alternative. On 94.5 FM analog and 94.5 HD1 is a mix of mainstream rock and alternative rock. 94.5 HD2 is the sports simulcast of Sports Talk 790 KBME. And 94.5 HD3 is the News Talk simulcast of KPRC 950. KTBZ has affiliations with iHeartRadio and Premier Networks. The station signed on the air on October 15, 1960 as KARO. They would undergo 4 call sign changes with 4 sets of call letters until they became KTBZ in 2000 and adding the FM suffix the following year. They have a Class C license with the FCC, broadcasting at the maximum 100,000 watts. Still located at 1233 West Loop South, Suite 725 in Houston. Their transmitter is off of Fort Bend Parkway Toll Road at Texas Parkway, or FM 2234 in Southwest Houston. 94.5 The Buzz is owned by iHeartMedia and licensed IHM Licenses, LLC. Programming is relayed on translator stations K258DA 99.5 FM and K287BQ 105.3 FM, both licensed to Houston. 95.7 Channel 239, broadcasting in high definition, is KKHH Houston. 95.7 The Spot. On 95.7 FM analog and 7 HD1 is Adult Hits. So this is their version of Jack FM. 95.7 H2 is LGBTQIA plus talk and dance music, and Top 40, known as Channel Q. And on 95.7 HD3 is the sports gambling simulcast of KIKK 650 The Bet Houston. KKHH signed on the air on October 4th, 1959 as KHUL. They would undergo 3 call sign changes with 3 sets of call letters, including KIKK FM, which they used from 1966 to 2002. The station officially became KKHH in 2008. They have a Class C license with the FCC, broadcasting at 100,000 watts. Studios are located at 24 Greenway Plaza, number 1900 in Houston. Their trans is also in Southwest Houston, off the Fort Bend Parkway Toll Road and Texas Parkway, or FM 2234. KKHH 95.7 The Spot is owned by Odyssey Incorporated and licensed by Odyssey License, LLC as debtor in possession making them a sister station to our next station. 96.5 Channel 243, broadcasting in high definition, KHMX Houston. They're known as Mix 96.5. On 96.5 FM analog and 96.5 HD1 is Hot Adult Contemporary. Now an HD2 subchannel which played an active rock format known as Hard Rock 96.5 HD2, but it appears that they've taken that one down. KHMX signed on the air on February 1st, 1948 as KXYZ FM. They would undergo 4 call sign changes with 4 sets of call letters until they became KHMX in 1990. They have a Class C license with the FCC, broadcasting at 100,000 watts. Studios are located at 24 Greenway Plaza, Suite 1900. Transmitter is off of Fort Bend Parkway Toll Road at Texas Parkway or FM 2234, both located in Houston. KHMX Mix 96.5 is owned by Odyssey Incorporated and licensed to Odyssey License LLC as debtor in possession. All right, 97.1 Channel 246, broadcasting in high definition, is KLVH Cleveland, Texas. Now the Houston area affiliate of the K-Love Radio Network. On 97.1 FM analog and 97.1 HD1 is Christian Adult Contemporary with no additional subchannels. KLVH signed on the air on January 7th, 1993 as KRTK, and they've had an identity crisis throughout their history, undergoing 7 line changes with 5 sets of call letters, including their most recent KTHT from 2000 until it became KLVH in 2023. Of course, this was the old home of Cox Media Group's Country Legends 97.1, which is now heard on KKBQ's HD2 subchannel. KLVH has a Class C license with the FCC, broadcasting at 100,000 watts. Programming originates from the K-Love headquarters in Rockland, California, and their transmitter is off of FM 222 and Bob McGowan Road in Shepherd, Texas. KLVH is now owned by the Educational Media Foundation, or EMF. 97.5 Channel 248 is KFNC Mont Bellevue, Texas, known as ESPN 97.5 and 92.5, featuring a sports format affiliated with ESPN Radio. The Houston Dynamo FC, that again is the local MLS soccer team. Sugarland Space Cowboys, which is a minor league baseball team from the Pacific Coast League, and they are the flagship station of Texas A&M Aggies. So they will air Texas A&M football and men's basketball on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. KFNC signed on the air as KRIC on March 1st, 1948 at 99.5 FM in Beaumont. The station underwent 5 call sign changes with 4 sets of call letters and became KFNC in 2005. No word on when the station officially moved into Metro Houston on 97.5. They have a Class C license with the FCC, broadcasting at 100,000 watts. Studios are located at 5353 West Alabama Street, number 415 in Houston. Their transmitter is off FM 1941 in Anahuac, Texas, ANAHUAC. KFNC is owned by David Gao, licensed by Gao Media LLC. Programming is relayed on translator station K223CW 92.5 FM Houston. 97.9 channel 250 broadcasting in high definition is one of my favorite hip hop stations across the country, and that's KBXX Houston. 97.9 The Box on 97.9 analog and 97.9 HD1 is rhythmic contemporary with no additional subchannels. KBXX signed on the air as KFMK in 1958 and became KBXX in 1991. They have a Class C license with the FCC, broadcasting at 100,000 watts. Studios are located at 24 Greenway Plaza, number 900. Transmitter is off of Fort Bend Parkway Toll Road and Texas Parkway, or FM 2234, both located in Houston. KBXX, or D79 The Box, is owned by Urban One and licensed to Radio One Licenses, LLC. Programming is relayed on translator station K254BZ 98.7 FM, 98.5 and 101.7 broadcasts the same programming. 98.5 channel 253 is KTJM Port Arthur, Texas. 101.7 channel 269 is KNTE Bay City, Texas. Both stations are branded as La Raza 98.5 y 101.7. Both stations feature a regional format. KTJM Port Arthur signed on the air as KPAC FM on May 14th, 1963. They become KHYS in 1978 and KTJM in 1999. KNTE Bay City signed on the air on September 25th, 1995 as KXGJ and became KNTE in 2012. KTJM has a Class C license with the FCC. KNTE has a Class C1 license. KTJM broadcasts at the maximum 100,000 watts, while KNTE broadcasts at 35,000 watts. Studios for both stations are located at 3000 Bering Drive in Houston. KTJM transmitter is at the end of Cleveland Street in Devers, Texas. The KNTE transmitter is off of FM 1095 in Ashby, Texas. Both stations are owned by Australia Media and licensed to Australia Radio License of Houston, LLC. Up next is 99.1 channel 256, broadcasting in high definition. This is the highest rated radio station in the Space City, KODA Houston, branded as Sunny 99.1. On 99.1 FM analog and 99.1 HD1 as adult contemporary for New Year and Christmas music during the holidays. And on 99.1 HD2 is the News Talk simulcast of News Radio 740 KTRH. KODA has affiliations with Premier Networks. This station PRC FM on December 24th, 1946. So this was the FM counterpart to KPRC 950. The station would then become KHGM FM in 1958, and then KODA FM in 1967. And after that, they would drop the FM suffix from the call sign in 1980. The station began at 99.7 and then moved to 102.9 in 1947, and their current home at 99.1 in 1959. They have a Class C license with the FCC, broadcasting at 100,000 watts. Studios are located at 1233 West Loop South, Suite 725 in Houston. The transmitter is off of Texas Parkway or FM 2234, and the Fort Bend Parkway Toll Road, also in Houston. Sunny 99.1 is owned by iHeartMedia and licensed by IHM Licenses, LLC. 99.7 Channel 259 is aimed primarily at the northern portions of the market, and that's KVST Huntsville, K-Star Country, featuring a country music format. They signed on the air as KUST on January 14, 1999, and became KVST in 2005. The station used KCEY during their construction permit from 1990 to 1998. They have a Class C3 license with the FCC, broadcasting at 17,000 watts. Studios are located at 14887 Highway 105 in Montgomery, Texas. The station's transmitter is off of Texas State Route 75 in Huntsville. KVST, or K-Star Country, is owned by New Wavo Communication Group, Incorporated. Next up is 99.9 Channel 260, KHIH, Liberty, Texas. They're known as 89.3 KSBJ, God Listens. This station features a Christian adult contemporary format, signing on the air as KSHN on September 20th, 1980, and became KHIH in 2019. They have a Class C2 license with the FCC, broadcasting at 26,000 watts. Studios are located at 1722 Treble Drive in Humble, Texas. The transmitter is located at the end of Cleveland Street in Devers, Texas. KHIH is owned by Hope Media Group, and the station simulcasts the programming heard on flagship station KSBJ 89.3, Humble, Texas. 100.3 Channel 262, broadcasting in high definition, is KILT FM Houston, also known as 100.3 The Bull. On 100.3 FM analog and 100.3 HD1 is country music. 100.3 HD2 is the sports simulcast of KILT AM Sports Radio 610. 100.3 HD3 is Texas country, known as 100.3 KIK FM or KIKK FM. KILT is the FM flagship home of the Houston Texans. They share that duty with Sports Radio 610. KILT FM signed on the air as KOST in February 1962. That call sign is presently being used on a radio station in Los Angeles. They would become KZAP in 1967, and in their first run as KILT FM occurred that same year in 1967. They would be known as KXAS FM in 1984, and then returned to the current KILT FM call sign the following year in 1985. They have a Class C license with the FCC, broadcasting at the maximum 100,000 watts. Studios are located at 24 Greenway Plaza, number 1900 in Houston. Transmitter is off the Fort Bend Parkway Toll Road and Texas Parkway, or FM 2234, in Southwest Houston. KILT FM, or 100.3 The Bull, is owned by Odyssey Incorporated and is licensed by Odyssey License LLC as debtor in possession. Next up on 100.7 Channel 264 is KKHT-FM Lumberton, Texas. Now, this covers both Metro Houston and the Beaumont, Port Arthur area. This station is known as 100.7 The Word, featuring a Christian talk and teaching format affiliated with the Salem Radio Network. This station signed on December 1st, 1987 as KJAS at 100.9 FM. The station would eventually move to 100.7, but we don't know the timeline of that. They would undergo 5 call sign changes with 4 sets of call letters and became KKHT-FM in 2004. They have a Class C license with the FCC, broadcasting at 100,000 watts. Studios are located at 6161 Savoy Drive, number 1200 in Houston. Their transmitter is off of US 90 in Devers, Texas. KKHT-FM is owned by Salem Media Group and licensed by Salem Media of Illinois, LLC. Next up is 101.1 Channel 266, broadcasting in high definition, and that's KLOL Houston. Mega 101 or Mega 101 on 101.1 FM analog and 101.1 D1 is Latin pop. 101.1 HD2 is Tejano music, known as Fierro, which originates from sister station KMVK HD2 in Fort Worth, Dallas. And this station is the Spanish flagship of the Houston Texans. And they also have news and weather updates from Houston Telemundo owned and operated station KTMD Channel 47, which is technically assigned to Galveston. KLOL signed on the air on June 30th, 1947 as KTRH FM, counterpart to the AM station on 740, and would become KLOL in 1970. They have a Class C license with the FCC, broadcasting at 96,000 watts, 100,000 watts with a beam tilt. Studios are located at 24 Greenway Plaza, number 1900 in Houston. The transmitter is off the Fort Bend Parkway Toll Road and Texas Parkway in Houston, otherwise known as FM 2234. Mega 101 KLOL is owned by Odyssey Incorporated and licensed by Odyssey License LLC as debtor in possession. Jumping ahead to 102.1 Channel 271, also broadcasting in high definition. KMJQ Houston. They're known as Magic 102.1, the real sound of H-Town. On 102.1 FM analog and 102.1 HD1 is Urban Adult Contemporary. 102.1 HD2 is the Urban Gospel Simulcast of Praise 92.1 KROI, which again will be sold to the Spanish Broadcasting System pending FCC approval. KMJQ has affiliations with the Compass Media Networks. KMJQ signed on the air as KAJC-FM in 1961. They would become KMSC in 1964, KLYX in 1969, and KMJQ in 1977. They have a Class C license with the FCC, broadcasting at 100,000 watts. Studios are located at 24 Greenway Plaza, number 900 in Houston. Transmitter is at 5036 Picard Road, also in Houston. KMJQ, or Magic 102.1, Magic being spelled MAJIC, is owned by Urban One and licensed by Radio One Licenses, LLC. 102.9, Channel 275, broadcasting in high definition, is easily the highest rated Spanish language station in the Space City, and that's KLTN Houston. K Buena 102.9 on 102.9 FM analog 102.9 HD1 is regional Mexican. 102.9 HD2 is the TUDN radio simulcast of KLAT AM 1010 and KQB UFM 93.3, which is, of course, Spanish sports. And on 102.9 HD3 is the Tejano simulcast of sister station KXTN in San Antonio. KLTN signed on the air on October 1st, 1960 as KQUE-FM. They would become KKPN in 1997 and KLTN in 1998. They have a Class C license with the FCC, broadcasting at 100,000 watts. Studios are located at 5100 Southwest Freeway in Houston. The transmitter is located off of Navigation Boulevard, also in Houston. KLTN, K Buena 102.9, is owned by the Euphoria Audio Network and licensed by Univision Radio Illinois Incorporated. Next up is 103.7 Channel 279. KHJK LaPorte, Texas. This is a Houston suburb on the east side. They're known as Air One, Worship Now, and The Worship Station, featuring a Christian worship music format. The station signed on the air in Huntsville as KUST 103.5 on September 15th, 1992, and then moved to 103.7 in LaPorte as KUST on October 27th, 2005. The station became KIOL in 2005 and KHJK in 2007. They have a Class C license with the FCC, broadcasting at the full 100,000 watts. Programming originates from the K-Love headquarters in Rockland, California. The transmitter is located in Devers, Texas. KHJK is owned by the Educational Media Foundation, or EMF. Next up on 104.1 Channel 281, broadcasted in high definition, is another one of the highest rated stations in the H-Town area, and that's KRBE Houston. 104.1 KRBE, Houston's #1 hit music station. On 104.1 FM analog and 104.1 HD1 is Top 40 CHR. 104.1 HD2 is an oldies station from Cumulus known as Good Time Oldies. KRBE has affiliations with Westwood One. The station signed on the air on November 8, 1959. They have a Class C license with the FCC, broadcasting at 100,000 watts. Studios are located at 9801 Westheimer Road, number 700 in Houston. The transmitter is on that same tower in Southwest Houston off the Fort Bend Parkway Toll Road and Texas Parkway, or FM 2234. KRBE is the only radio station in Houston owned by Cumulus Media and licensed by Radio License Holding SRC LLC. 104.9 Channel 285, broadcasting in high definition, is KAMA-FM, Deer Park, Texas. Latino Mix, 104.9. On 104.9 FM analog and 104.9 HD1 is Latin Pop. 104.9 HD2 is a Spanish Christian station known as Amor Celestial. 104.9 HD3 It's the Spanish sports simulcast of TUDN radio heard on KLAT AM and KQBU FM. 104.9 HD4 is also a Spanish Christian station known as Radio Visión Latina 106.1. KAMA signed on the air on January 7, 1969 as KFRD-FM in the West Houston suburb of Rosenberg, Texas. The station would undergo 5 call sign changes with 5 sets of call letters until they became KAMA-FM in 2007. They have a Class C2 license with the FCC, broadcasting at only 10,500 watts. Sorry about that. Studios are located at 5100 Southwest Freeway in Houston. The transmitter is near Navigation Boulevard, also in Houston. Latino Mix 104.9 is owned by the Euphoria Audio Network and licensed the Tichenor License Corporation. Translator station K291CE 106.1 FM Houston relays the Spanish Christian format heard on HD4. Next up on 105.3 channel 287 is KTWL Hempstead, Texas, known as Texas Mix 105.3, featuring a Texas country format. Signing on as KEZB in 1992. The station would become KTWL in 2006. They have a Class C3 license with the FCC, broadcasting at 9,200 watts. Sorry again. Studios are located at 530 West Main Street, Branham, Texas. Transmitter is at 13634 County Road 318 in Navasota, Texas. KTWL is owned by Roy E. Henderson and licensed by Farmers Communications. All right, we have now come to 105.7 channel 289, which is KHCB-FM Houston. This is the flagship station of the KHCB radio network, and you'll find out why in just a moment. KHCB-FM has a long-running Christian talk and teaching format, which has been on the air since March 9th, 1962. So this is one of the oldest Christian radio stations in the state of Texas. They have a Class C license with the FCC, broadcasting at 100,000 watts. Their studios are located at 2424 South Boulevard in Houston. The transmitter is located off the Fort Bend Parkway Toll Road and Texas Parkway, or FM 2234, in Southwest Houston. KHCB-FM is the flagship station of Houston Christian Broadcasters Incorporated. Now, there's a reason why they call this the KHCB radio network. They simulcast their programming on 29 full-power stations across 5 states and relays their programming on 12 translator stations. And I have the whole list written down here, so buckle up. KHCB-FM's programming is simulcast on the following stations: KPWA 93.5 FM, Bismarck, Arkansas; KHHS 104.5 FM, Percy, Arkansas; KHCL 92.5 FM, Arcadia, Louisiana; KHMD 104.7 FM, Mansfield, Louisiana; WNSS 89.3 FM, Palm Coast, Florida; KRGL 98.5 FM, Ringgold, Louisiana; KSPH 92.9 FM, Spring Hill, Louisiana; KFXU 90.5 FM, Chickasha, Oklahoma. KFXH 88.7 FM, Marlow, Oklahoma. KFXT 90.7 FM, Sulphur, Oklahoma. KHIB 88.5 FM, Bastrop, Texas. This is up in the Austin area. KHVT 91.5 FM, Bloomington, Texas. KHLK 104.3 FM, Brownfield, Texas. KHBW 91.7 FM, Brownwood, Texas. KMPN 95.9 FM, Burnett, Texas. That's northwest of Austin. KALD 91.9 FM, Caldwell, Texas. KRTG 88.3 FM, Carthage, Texas. KDER 99.3 FM, Comstock, Texas. KDVY 93.5 FM, Crockett, Texas. KBLC 91.5 FM, Fredericksburg, Texas. This is in the Texas Hill Country near San Antonio and Austin. KANJ 91.1 FM, Giddings, Texas. That's also outside of Austin. KHCJ 91.9 FM, Jefferson, Texas. KKER 88.7 FM, Kerrville, Texas. That's northwest San Antonio. KHML 91.5 FM, Madisonville, Texas. KHCP 89.3 FM, Paris, Texas. KHPO 91.9 FM, Port O'Connor, Texas. KSAO 93.9 FM, San Angelo, Texas. KHPS 88.9 FM, Uvalde, Texas, which is west of San Antonio. And KHTA 92.5 FM, Wake Village, Texas. Their programming is also relayed on the following translator stations. K204DL 88.7 FM, Louisiana. K234AY 94.7 FM, Ruston, Louisiana. K245BA 96.9 FM, Shreveport, Louisiana. K285GD 104.9 FM, Beaumont, Texas. K267BT 101.3 FM, Bryan College Station, Texas. K290CD 105.9 FM, Huntsville, which is north of Houston. K202EA 88.3 FM, Lockhart, Texas. That's south of Austin. K246CB 97.1 FM, Longview, Tyler, Texas. K240EO 95.9 FM, Lufkin, Texas. K215FD 90.9 FM, Round Rock, Austin, Texas. K203CX 88.5 FM, San Marcos, Texas. That's halfway between San Antonio and Austin. And K294BW 106.7 FM, The Door, Port Arthur, Texas. Okay, we are just about done. We have 4 stations left. Next up is 106.5, channel 293. KOVEFM, Galveston. Amor 106.5. Featuring a Spanish adult hits format. Affiliations with Univision. KOVEFM signed on the air as KQQK on January 8th, 1990, became KQBU-FM, and then KOVE-FM in 2001. They have a Class C license with the FCC, broadcasting at 100,000 watts. Studios are located at 5100 Southwest Freeway in Houston. The transmitter is at 102.33 FM 2004 in Hitchcock, Texas. Amor 106.5 KOVE-FM is owned by the Euphoria Audio Network and licensed to Univision Radio Illinois Incorporated. All right, 106.9 and 107.5 broadcast the same programming. 106.9 channel 295 is KHPT Conroe, Texas. This station is aimed at the immediate Houston area. 107.5 channel 298 is KGLK Lake Jackson, Texas, covering the far southern suburbs of Houston and the Galveston area. Both stations broadcast in high definition, and both are branded as Houston's Eagle at 106.9 and 107.5. FM analog and the HD1 subchannels on both stations play classic rock. 106.9 HD2 is an adult hit station known as The Points. And 106.9 HD3 is a Spanish Christian station known as La Nueva. 107.5 HD2 plays oldies, and 107.5 HD3 is a Bollywood format known as Masala Radio 98.7. KHPT Conroe signed on the air on Valentine's Day, February 14, 1965, as KNRO FM, and they would have an identity crisis, undergoing 7 call sign changes with 7 sets of call letters until they became KHPT in 2000. KGLK Lake Jackson signed on the air on November 10th, 1980 as KGOL on 107.3. The station moved to 107.5 in 1986. And they too had a bit of an identity crisis as well, undergoing 5 call sign changes with 5 sets of call letters until they became KGLK in 2009. Both stations operate with Class C licenses by the Federal Communications Commission. KHPT Conroe on 106.9 channel 295 operates at 91,600 watts. KGLK Lake Jackson on 107.5 channel 298 operates at 98,000 watts. Studios for both stations are at 24 Greenway Plaza, number 900 in Houston. The KHPT transmitter is at 257 County Road 3669C in Splendora, Texas. The KGLA transmitter is off County Road 200 in Alvin. And these are 2 of the stations that were previously owned by Cox Group, now owned by Urban One, and both licensed by Radio One Licenses, LLC. Transmitter station K269GT 101.7 FM Houston relays the Spanish Christian format heard on KHPT HD3, and translator station K254BZ 98.7 FM Houston relays the Bollywood format heard on KGLK HD3. Our final station will be 107.9 channel 300, broadcasting in high definition, KQQK Beaumont, Texas. El Norte 107.9 FM on 107.9 FM analog and 107.9 HD1 is regional Mexican music with no additional subchannels. KQQK signed on the air as KGET FM at 107.7 FM on July 10th, 1967, and became KWIC FM in 1973, KXTJ in 1993, and KQQK in 2001. The station moved to the very top of the FM band at 107.9 on May 16, 1986. They have a Class C license with the FCC, broadcasting at 90,000 watts. Studios are located at 3000 Bering Drive in Houston. The transmitter is at the end of Cleveland Street in Devers, Texas. KQQK, or El Norte 107.9 FM, is owned by Australia Media and licensed by Australia Radio License of Houston, LLC. And that is the reissue of the FM stations in the Houston-Galveston market as of June 2024. Alrighty, we will wrap up the Texas portion of this series with a reissue of the Austin radio market. That'll be coming in the next couple of weeks, so be on the lookout for that. In the meantime, like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, ring the bell, and get notified every time I go live. Big Al signing off. Thanks for watching, and happy listening. Peace out.